What's up, y'all? Good afternoon. Sending you good vibes, sending you vibes of love, prosperity, success, confidence, joy, anything positive that you can think of. With your life, it's extremely important to focus on the positive and focus on the possibility of what it is that you want to achieve. As I've shared, no one knows enough about anything to be a pessimist. Learned that from Dr. Wayne Dyer. Nobody knows enough about anything to be a pessimist. What does that mean? That means what it says. It means that in a world of infinite possibilities, in a world of how did this ever happen? How is it that I met this person who introduced me to this person who introduced me to this person who then set my career on a whole new trajectory? How is it then when this door closed and I thought that that was going to be tough, I ended up reconnecting with this person who then elevated me to this level because we both elevated in different ways and now we rejoined and now we're both at a higher level. How is it that that happens? That's divine timing. Everything happens as soon as it was meant to happen. And this relates to the order story that I shared yesterday. When we order food, if we're going through the drive-through at Culver's, and if you don't know what Culver's is, I feel sorry for you. I don't know what In-N-Out is, so hey, we can feel each other's pain. However, you need to find you a Culver's and get you some cheese curds. If you've never had that before, that needs to be a part of your life. All right, so if I go through the drive-through at Culver's and I place an order, I know that my food is going to come out in a bag exactly when it was meant to. Now, I might feel impatient. I might be like, dang, I'm expecting this to be here already, but it's taking a little longer. Maybe there's a long line, especially right now. Oh my gosh, the lines are so long, I can't even go. Culver's and Chick-fil-A are like the two lines right now that are untouchable. However, it's beside the point. I place my order, I know the food is coming. When I place my order to life, when I place my order to God, to Yahweh, to Allah, to I am, I know the order is coming. Just to reference that I am, when Moses spoke to the burning bush and asked God what his name was, who Moses was to say sent him to be free, God's response was, I am that I am. So, this relates perfectly. Watch how you use your words and watch how you think and watch how you believe. Do you use the words, I am healthy, I am fit, I am athletic, I am intelligent, I am smart, I am wise, I am knowledgeable, I am opportunity, I am creative, I am beautiful, I am blessed, I am grateful, I am abundant, I am joyful? I mean, that's got to be your internal dialogue. And for most people that aren't having success in their life, it's simply because that's not their internal dialogue. It's that easy. Switch your internal dialogue to making statements that you believe in. But you got to change your beliefs then. So that was interesting how I said that. Switch your internal dialogue to positive statements because you get what you expect out of life. You really do. Okay? Because our thoughts are so powerful. And the imagery that we create in our mind when we focus on a thought, therefore using our imagination, is so powerful that it creates those images and brings them into real life. So that's why we want to focus on the best case scenario for ourselves and for our interactions with other people and for our loved ones and for the whole world. I believe that the world is fine. I believe that the world is hurting because so many human spirits are hurting and damaged. However, I also believe that we can take care of it. I have no desire and I have all the respect in the world for the genius and the creativity and the ingenuity and the work ethic of Elon Musk. However, I personally don't believe that there's benefit to us being a multi-planetary species, as he calls it. And sure, maybe there is, but literally this world, in my belief, was created for us. Like what we breathe in, the plants breathe out. And what we breathe out, the plants breathe in. The world is made up of 70% water, and our bodies are made up of 70% water. Okay, we plant a seed and it grows into a vegetable, and then we eat it. And the vegetable grew from the same sun that we use for energy. And that the plant is literally made up of the same chemicals that we're made up of. We came out of dirt, okay? We come from stardust. We all share the same foundation. And then we eat the minerals from the plant, which we're blessed to have. It's beautiful. This is our home. Human beings are meant to live on this planet. And maybe this planet won't be around forever, because nothing lasts forever, because everything changes. However, we could take care of this world. And the world, the outer world, and the world that we live in, and the world that you live in, literally the world, the way that you perceive the world, is nothing more than a reflection of your own inner world. So it's, where are your inner thoughts? What are your inner thoughts directed towards? Are they directed towards positive or negative? Albert Einstein said that the most important decision that you'll ever make is whether you live in a friendly or hostile world. Well, let's all choose to live in a friendly world. And for some of us, that's going to be harder than others because of the world that you were born into. Just because you were born into something, though, doesn't mean it has to stay that way. What's crazy as well, too, is because the mind can't tell the difference between 3D reality and what's visualized, you can actually change your past based on visualizing the ideal way that you wish it would have went. I'm going to share this from Einstein as well. I've heard this before, and I hadn't heard it for a long time. I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination circles the world. And knowledge is limited because it's living off of what you already know, where imagination is allowing you to think outside of the box. Denzel Washington shared this in a commencement speech when he said that it's important to be creative and think outside the box, because there's an IQ test with 9 dots, I believe, and you're supposed to connect the 9 dots by making 5 lines. And the only way that you can do that is by going outside of the box, by going outside of the dots. And also accepting imagination as flow. I remember having this conversation with my grandma recently, talking about some of the lyrics that I use in my artwork of music, and relaying to her that, hey, maybe it doesn't quite fit your ideal situation in terms of having a light amount of cussing, or maybe making a reference to something that's non-peaceful. But first off, when I write my music, there's always a message behind it. And then second piece to it is, I'm not even taking credit for writing it. I'm giving all credit to life for blessing me with the creativity that flowed through me and allowed me to write, the same way that Dr. Dyer shared that he didn't feel like it was even him writing the books. Where did these words come from? It's clearly not us. No human, no simple human can create that. That's only because the Spirit, the divine, is living within us and flowing through us, and we have to be that vessel for the creativity. And that's why it's so important to unleash your gift into the world and unleash what you are actually meant to do, and be willing to take that risk. Because if we planted a tomato seed and it never grew into being that tomato that it was meant to be, it would be a waste, right? Well, if life planted you as a seed onto this planet and you never grow into what you were meant to be, it was almost a waste. I remember learning this from a gentleman named Trevor Baker, who said, what I don't want to do after this life is go to God, because he looks at God as our parents. And as a parent, if our kid isn't living up to their fullest potential, we'd be disappointed in them, because we want the best for our kids and we want to see them make the most of their lives. Well, the same is for us. If we're children of God, then when we pass away, what he doesn't want is to go to God and God to say, that's all you did with your life? I gave you all these talents and that's all you did? Like, what a shame. Could have done so much more. Of course, there's forgiveness and compassion in there, because life loves us all, yet at the same time, let's make the most of it. Okay, and be your purpose, right? A tomato seed doesn't get planted to grow into a corn. That wasn't the purpose. So if you were planted with a gift of drawing, you weren't necessarily born to grow into becoming a medical doctor. Now, maybe that did work out, but you get what I'm saying is, like, live your purpose. Live while you're here. Do what you're supposed to do for the planet. Be a seed that germinates into its most beautiful self, into a beautiful fruit-bearing plant, and give as much fruit as you can to the world. Okay, so what can we do with our lives? The only thing we can do with our lives is give it away and give service. Because that's what life does for us. Life is constantly giving. Think about how much water we have. Look at what water does. Water literally asks nothing in return from us, and yet we poison it and pollute it all the time. But water asks nothing in return and nourishes everything, literally everything. Soil, plants, humans, animals, everything gets nourished by water. Be like water, nourish and ask nothing in return. And look at water, forever giving, forever able to transform and mold into any situation. Another interesting point I learned today is that with imagination, you can go to the unseen. Let me see if I could find how they phrased that perfectly. I'd love to be able to share that with you. Not quite. However, I found what I was meant to share with you. Faithfully focus on what you truly want and believe that it will come to pass. And you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Faithfully focus on what you truly want and believe that it will come to pass. And you can achieve anything you set your mind to. What is an expectation? It is what we assume will happen in the future, which has not happened yet. So I recommend keeping your imagination on what you want. Being patient with the results, knowing that they will come. Think outside the box, live freely. There was a book written that I haven't picked up yet, which I need to, that it was a woman who I believe for 6 to 8 years was interviewing people in hospices that she worked at and figuring out what their biggest regrets were, and she wrote a book about it. And if I'm not mistaken, the first one was that people wish that they had the courage to live the life that they wanted to, rather than live the life that others expected of them. Live free, be yourself. The light in me always recognizes the light in you. We all share the same humanness and the same divinity. We're all one. I wish you a prosperous, confident, accomplishing, joyful, and healthy day. Much love as always. Peace.